This whole ocean really go. The Cornelia Marie was the heart of Deadliest catch for over a decade. Captain Phil Harris made it famous. His sons Josh and Jake promised to carry on his legacy. But in August 2022, everything changed forever. A buried court document surfaced online, and it revealed a dark secret Josh had hidden for 24 years. The crime was so shocking that Discovery immediately erased every trace of the boat from their network. Streaming platforms removed all of the episodes almost overnight. What Josh did as a teenager destroyed everything his father had built. The Cornelia Marie was built in 1989 at Horton Boats in Bayou Labatra, Alabama. That small shipbuilding town had been turning out boats for generations, and this one felt like the end of an era. The Cornelia Marie was among the last big vessels built by Elmo Horton. It measured 128 feet long and 28 feet wide. With a draft of 11.7 feet, made of heavy steel, it was ready for the brutal Bering Sea. Twin 750 horsepower Cummins QSK 19M diesel engines powered it to 14.5 knots, giving it a big edge when racing to the crab grounds. The fuel tanks held 28,500 gallons, and there were 3,000 gallons of fresh water, enough for long trips without turning back. The boat cost $2.5 million to build, a fortune at the time, but it quickly proved its worth as one of the toughest boats out there. The name Cornelia Marie came from the wife of the man who commissioned it, Ralph Collins. Ralph named the boat after his wife, Cornelia Marie Collins, to honor her role in his life and in the fishing business. She wasn't just his wife, she worked right alongside him. That name set the boat apart in a world where ships were usually named for myths or ideas. Even after the couple divorced, Cornelia became co-owner of the boat, and her name stayed on the hull. The aquamarine and white paint with yellow banners made the Cornelia Marie easy to spot from Kodiak to Dutch Harbor. From the start, the Cornelia Marie faced the Bering Sea's worst. It fished for king crab, opilio crab, salmon, and herring. It could stay out longer thanks to its huge fuel and water supply, giving it an edge during those short, fierce crab seasons. The early crew was a mix of veterans and greenhorns, all battling icy waves, brutal winds, and constant danger. The Cornelia Marie even helped search for survivors when the Big Valley went down in 2005. Only one man lived. Through these trials, the boat earned a reputation as reliable and tough long before it became famous on TV. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the Cornelia Marie was already a star among fishermen. A major refit added 22 feet to its length, increasing its crab capacity by 100,000 pounds. That allowed it to haul in over 300,000 pounds on a single trip. While other boats went under in hard times, the Cornelia Marie stayed strong. It was known for its efficiency and the skill of its crew. The boat's success came from hard work, smart choices, and constant upgrades, traits that later made it perfect for reality TV. Bill Harris's story became part of the Cornelia Marie's legend. He joined in the early 1990s, became co-owner, and took over as captain in 1998. Harris was tough, demanding, and deeply loyal. He treated his crew like family and stood by them through thick and thin. His bond with the boat lasted more than 20 years. Harris's journey began when he left high school at 17. Raised in Bottle, Washington, he had fished with his father since he was 8. A friend's success lured him to crab fishing. That friend made over $100,000 in one season and bought a brand new car. Harris, driving a worn-out Chevelle, wanted the same. He quit school and headed north. His first season was rough. He made no money and even quit once, but came back after the captain mocked him. At 19, Harris finally struck gold, earning $130,000 in 1 year. By 21, Harris owned his first boat, the Golden Viking. He had been handed the captain's chair by his own skipper on his birthday. That came with huge challenges, debt, repairs, and earning respect as a young captain. At one point, he faced $50,000 in urgent repairs, but Harris kept going, and by his mid-20s, he had built a name as one of the best on the Bering Sea. Harris was a hard man known for chain smoking and barking orders, but he cared deeply for his crew. He shared profits fairly and never asked anyone to do work he wouldn't do himself. Many crew members returned year after year. His personal life was rocky, 2 divorces and struggles with substance abuse. But he never stopped putting his crew first. His stress wasn't from the danger. He said it was from empty crab pots because that meant his men might go home empty-handed. Under Harris's command, the Cornelia Marie saw big changes. In one major overhaul, it was cut into 4 pieces and extended by 22 feet, boosting crab capacity by 100,000 pounds. His sons, Josh and Jake, worked with him, turning the boat into a family legacy. In 2005, something big happened for the Cornelia Marie. It became one of just 4 boats to be featured permanently on Deadliest Catch in Season 2. But this wasn't just good luck. The producers had to make tough choices. There were over 250 boats, and they wanted only the best. By the end of the year, they had narrowed it down to about 89. The Cornelia Marie stood out because of its strong catches and because of Captain Phil Harris. Phil wasn't sure at first. He worried that cameras would disturb life on board or reveal too much. The talks were hard. The Discovery Channel wanted boats that were both reliable and full of personality. Phil wanted to protect his crew's privacy and keep filming away during dangerous work. The timing was right, too. That year, the fishing world shifted from the old derby system to the new individual fishing quota system. Only the top boats made it into this smaller elite group. The Cornelia Marie earned its spot. Bringing Phil's sons, Josh and Jake, onto the Cornelia Marie was a bold move. This wasn't just a family decision, it added a whole new layer to the show. Phil didn't go easy on them. He made sure they worked as hard as anyone else. What viewers saw was real, the tension, the fights, the moments when being a dad clashed with being a captain. There was one moment that viewers never forgot. Phil looked at Jake and said, "You need to go to treatment, man. At least you'll have a fighting chance." The show followed the brothers as they learned the harsh world of crab fishing, and it showed their struggles when Phil's health began to fail. When Phil died in 2010, millions of fans felt the loss. Josh tried to lead. Jake fought his demons. The Harris family's ups and downs kept people watching. It wasn't just a show, it felt like watching real life. Phil's personality was a huge reason why fans loved him. He said what was on his mind. He was funny in a raw, honest way. Who could forget lines like, "I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest," or, "Now you know why lions eat their young." His humor helped him get through the hard times, and it made people connect with him. When Phil had a stroke and later passed away, over 5.4 million people tuned in. Many said they cried with the Harris family. Phil wasn't just a captain, he became the heart of Deadliest Catch. Fans still share his quotes online. They still buy shirts and hats with his sayings. His spirit lives on. And then there was the boat itself. The Cornelia Marie didn't look like the others. With its bright yellow and blue colors, it was easy to spot. The look wasn't just for show, it turned the boat into a brand. People bought hats, shirts, and model ships. They posted photos when they saw the boat in port. Even when the Cornelia Marie changed owners or took breaks from the show, its image stayed strong. That bold paint job made it a symbol of grit and tradition. The Cornelia Marie also became famous for its crab hauls. From the start, it was known for bringing in big catches. Phil pushed the boat and crew hard. During the tough 2005 season, the Cornelia Marie was among the top boats. Phil took risks to stay ahead of storms and rivals. The boat itself helped, too. It was 128 feet long and could carry almost 300 tons of crab. That meant longer trips and bigger hauls. The boat's record catches weren't just great for TV. They showed the skill and hard work of the crew. Phil Harris was larger than life, and so was his struggle with addiction. He wasn't just the tough, no-nonsense captain of the Cornelia Marie. He was the man viewers saw with a cigarette always between his fingers, sometimes lighting one from the end of another. The cameras showed it all, his chains smoking, his pots of coffee, his cases of Red Bull. This dangerous mix tore apart his health. Even after a pulmonary aneurysm at sea in 2008, Phil wouldn't quit. Doctors begged him. His crew begged him. His sons begged him. But Phil kept smoking. The man who survived deadly storms couldn't outrun his addiction. In 2010, it caught up with him. At just 53, Phil suffered a massive stroke. His death felt like the sad ending to a battle he never truly fought. His sons, Josh and Jake, carried the same heavy burden. Addiction ran through the Harris family like a curse. Phil had given Josh cigarettes and alcohol as early as 10 years old. The damage started young. Jake's spiral was especially painful to watch: heroin arrests, DUIs. It led to an 18-month prison sentence in 2024 after a high-speed police chase. Josh tried to stay strong, but had his own battles. There were thefts. There were relapses. The family broke apart and tried to mend itself again and again. Behind the fame of crab fishing, their real danger was waiting at home. Owning the Cornelia Marie didn't make things easier. The boat was built in 1989. Keeping it running cost a fortune. In 2015, just replacing the engines with two 758 horsepower Cummins diesels meant finding new partners to help pay the bills. Crew wages, fuel, insurance, repairs. It was endless. Josh called it a black hole for money. The pandemic made it worse. Crew wages shot up to 10 times the usual rate. Every season felt like a gamble. One bad catch could mean disaster. The only way to survive was to take bigger risks, like hunting golden king crab in deeper, deadlier waters. As if that stress wasn't enough, the cameras added a whole new layer. The show's needs didn't always match the crew's safety. Filming during storms, delaying trips, pushing for drama, this was what made good TV. But it made crab fishing even more dangerous. Sometimes Discovery Channel even pulled the boat from the show. Not because of fishing, but because of legal or image issues. The crew had to balance survival at sea with the demands of millions watching from their couches. On January 29, 2010, everything changed forever. The Cornelia Marie was docked at St. Paul Island, Alaska. They were offloading crab. Phil collapsed without warning, a massive stroke. His crew jumped into action. They radioed for help. EMTs rushed in. Every second counted. St. Paul Island was so remote. The nearest major hospital was hundreds of miles away. They got him stabilized, arranged a medevac, and flew him to Anchorage. His sons, his crew, they were left behind, stunned as Phil was flown away, fighting for his life. The cameras captured all of it. Every moment, every tear, every frantic radio call. It raised tough questions. Should such pain be shown to the world? Phil couldn't say yes or no. Discovery worked with the family. The Harris boys gave consent. They wanted people to see the truth, to honor their dad. But it was a choice that still makes people uneasy today. At first, it looked like Phil might beat the odds. He squeezed hands. He spoke. He joked. The doctors couldn't believe it. Most stroke patients take months to do what Phil did in days. The world started to hope, but hope can be cruel. A sudden brain bleed changed everything. Phil's condition collapsed. His sons and friends stayed at his side. There was nothing left to do